I successfully cold approached 150 girls in just 30 days. But most guys don't realize that literally anyone can do this if they just know the right formula. So in this video, I'll be sharing the 6 key lessons I learned and you'll need for getting into your first successful interaction ASAP. Starting with the most important one. You don't need to feel confident to approach. The reason most guys don't approach is because of their approach anxiety. They see the girl, they get nervous, and do nothing. You start to think, I just need to be more confident. And this is precisely the problem. You actually don't need to feel confident to approach and have success. This is just a belief and a condition that you've put on your success, and it limits you massively. Let me explain. Have you ever had a good outcome with a girl even though you were nervous? Think about a time you talked to a girl or went on a date. You were probably nervous, but you ended up making the move anyway, and you probably even had success. And this is precisely the point. If you're able to have success despite being nervous, then do you really need to feel confident in order to have success? Of course not. This internal need to feel 100% comfortable and confident before making the approach and going for it is incredibly limiting. It's an extra step, a BS condition you place on yourself. Confidence is actually not necessary to your success. When it comes to cold approach, you just have to be good enough. 55% of men haven't approached a woman in the last year. That means your competition is non-existent. So being courageous enough to simply try increases your odds dramatically. Fun fact, I was nervous during tons of my approaches during my 30-day challenge. Yet I was able to do them anyways, because after doing thousands in my life, I learned that I could be nervous as fuck and still have success. Knowing this makes it really easy to execute regardless of how I personally feel. The modern guy spends all of his time preparing and getting ready when what he really needs to do is stop procrastinating, stop being a little bitch, and simply just show up the way he is. The truth is, you're rarely ever gonna feel your best. Perfect conditions almost never exist. You gotta learn how to succeed and execute in imperfect conditions. Otherwise, you'll never date the highest quality of women. And the fact that you can feel insecure yet still have success should be empowering. Because the truth is, almost anything in life worth doing is gonna make you uncomfortable. And being able to act despite that discomfort is what will truly allow you to win. Which brings me to lesson number 2. Daytime is much better than nighttime. Higher quality girls who are looking for a relationship aren't spending 3 nights a week in nightclubs. And if they're on apps, it's extremely competitive. 99% of men cling to dating apps as a crutch, hoping it will shield them from the discomfort of meeting women in the real world. That means right now is the easiest time in human history to stand out as a man. See a cute girl, approach a cute girl is hyper efficient. These are women you're encountering and walking past in your day-to-day life anyways. Why not just take an extra minute or two to approach them? The skill of daytime interactions translates much better to every other aspect of dating. The best part about daytime interactions is that if you're a high-value guy who has ambitions and is working to achieve them, approaching women during the daytime is actually much better than staying up late and drinking 3 nights a week only to wake up hungover and have your entire weekend ruined. Meeting women during the daytime means you no longer need to go out to sweaty clubs in order to meet sweaty women who you wouldn't want to make your girlfriend. And because you're meeting these women while you're going about your normal daily life, it's going to take significantly less time than going out at night. I mean, just think about your average night at the club. You have to get ready, you have to go out at Uber, you have to spend money to get into the club, you have to spend a ton of money while you're at the club, you have to scream over super loud music where you can barely hear each other, and even if you win and bring a girl back home with you, now you have to stay up until 4 a.m. with a girl who may not leave till the morning, and you're hungover and your entire next day is completely ruined. I mean, when you put it like that, the opportunity cost of going out at night is extremely high versus simply just meeting girls that you're already coming across at the grocery store, at the gym, on your walk, or just running normal errands throughout your day-to-day. The quality of women you're going to meet during the daytime is also significantly higher. If you're a guy who's into health, fitness, and building your career, going out to a club is the opposite of all of that. So why would you expect a woman who's compatible with your life to be at that nightclub? Yet for some reason, guys still believe that spending thousands of dollars to flex bottles at the club is the best way to find their future girlfriend. Which brings me to point number 3. Everyone lives in the story. Everyone lives in the stories and assumptions of their mind. And there's no better way to shatter these assumptions and bullshit stories you tell yourself than to meet women during the day. These daytime's interaction will put you face to face with reality in ways that can sometimes be uncomfortable, but are more often than not incredibly empowering. You may see a girl who looks like she has a resting bitch face, and you think she'd never talk to me, she's not even gonna stop when I try to approach her, and yet she's the sweetest girl ever, and she's super open, and you have a long 5 5 or 10 minute drawn out conversation. Or you approach the shy and wholesome looking girl and she's the rudest girl you've talked to all week and she immediately blows you off. Or maybe you think because a girl is on the phone or with a friend or has headphones on or whatever random excuse you came up with that it would be impossible to have a successful interaction. I promise you, you're wrong. In fact, if you watch one of my videos from last year, you'll see an interaction where I approach a girl who had headphones on, was crying, and she was also on the phone with her mom, all at the same time. I didn't know this until I approached her, but when I did and I realized it, we actually ended up having a 10-minute conversation and she was very glad that I approached her. She said it made her day that much better. I've had tons of experiences like these over the years, and what they really go to show you is that all of your assumptions and beliefs are really just that, assumptions and beliefs. You never truly know what opportunities you have until you put yourself in a position to take advantage of that. And if you think these excuses, stories, and assumptions you make only apply to women, then I have very bad news for you. These same bullshit beliefs are running every aspect of your life. And after deprogramming these beliefs, my clients regularly see a lateral effect in other areas of their life, in the form of making more money, getting promotions at work, interviewing better, once they master this skill set. In fact, most clients I work with say that meeting women in person was significantly more impactful for their life than online dating or even nightclubs because it opens up an entire new world of possibilities for them that they previously thought were impossible. I mean, if you just scroll through the 30-day challenge that I did, you'll see I literally picked up girls while I was shirtless and jogging. I picked up girls on a bicycle. I picked up a girl with her mom. My 20-year-old virgin cameraman picked up a girl on his first try. I even picked up a girl while standing still. And that was precisely the goal of the challenge, to force you to start looking for the opportunity rather than the excuse. And by the way, if you're an older, successful guy who's looking to master the skill of meeting women in person and learning how to build magnetic attraction with women, then click the first link in the description and book a call to work with me personally inside my private coaching program. Which brings me to point number 4. The mindset you carry in one area of your life very often translates to other areas of your life. If you're the type of guy who tends to make excuses, procrastinates, and lacks the ability to be honest with yourself in one area of your life, chances are you're doing it in others. You're just not realizing it. One of the most common reasons guys are afraid of cold approach is because of their fear of rejection. And this fear of rejection in their dating life also shows up in their professional life. The same guy who can't start a combo with a pretty girl is very often the same guy who can't speak up and advocate for himself at work, to ask for that promotion or to ask for that raise or to speak his mind in a way that's going to be more valuable, to advocate for his way of doing things. I myself am the biggest example of this. Starting the journey of meeting people in person when I was a teenager is what led me to standing in front of this camera today. Being able to move past my comfort zone, being able to master my communication skills is the reason I'm able to make content that reaches millions of people every single month. The communication skills I learned through Cold Approach are the same exact communication skills I use to run my business, to make viral content, and to network with high-level people that I would otherwise never have access to. And as AI and technology expand more and more, these soft verbal and communication skills are only going to get more valuable because soon they're going to be the only thing that makes you stand apart from everyone else, or the things that technology and AI can do for us. Because ultimately, when you're walking down the street and you lock eyes with that cute girl that you know you'd like to meet, whether you choose to make an excuse and not make the approach, or whether you choose to view it as an opportunity and go for it, says much more about you than you think it does. And this opportunity versus excuse mindset is impacting your life in a much deeper way than you may realize. Which brings me to the next point. You need to have skin in the game. I want you to think about the last time you were too afraid to start a conversation with a woman. Deep down, you probably thought about it and even wanted to do it, but for some reason, you couldn't. The reason you did nothing is actually quite simple. It's because there was no consequence to your inaction. Meaning, whether you talk to the girl or not, your life really isn't going to change that much. And because deep down you know this, it doesn't really inspire you to take action. The reason dating is such an easy area for successful guys to put off is because failure in this area of your life is a slow burn. You can put this off for weeks, months, or even years, and you won't really notice that much of a difference until you wake up one day, you're 31, all of your friends are getting married, you've been on maybe 1 or 2 dates in the last year, and you've spent basically no time with women who truly excite you. I've worked with tons of clients in their 30s, 40s, 50s, even their 60s, who deeply regretted putting off this area of their life. And the hard pill to swallow is that if you're not focusing on your dating life right now, if you can't walk up to a woman and spark an interaction effortlessly, you are very likely to walk that same dangerous path where you're going to end up either settling, or you're most likely to end up settling with a partner who you knew deep down you could do so much better than. But you did it because you never had skin in the game. Humans are fundamentally motivated by pain than they are pleasure. In order for you to approach that cute girl, you need to understand that if you don't approach that cute girl, then you are contributing to a habit and a lifestyle that is very likely to result in you staying single, alone, and in scarcity around women. Think about it like a fat guy who doesn't go to the gym. Is skipping the gym one time going to kill him? Absolutely not. But is skipping the gym regularly over an extended period of time going to contribute to him becoming fatter, more unhealthy, and make it harder for him to get back in shape? Absolutely. This is why people hire personal trainers, because when you sign up for that gym membership and you hire a personal trainer, and now that you've spent money, you've hired a personal trainer, you've made a commitment to someone other than yourself, now not taking action is arguably more painful because you have to face the embarrassment of not living up to your actions. You have to face that person you made a commitment to and tell them, no, I'm too pussy to go to the gym today, or no, even though I told you this was important, it's actually not important, so I'm actually going to take zero action and stay on the same exact shitty trajectory that I have been this entire time. When it comes to dating, most guys have zero skin in the game, so there's no immediate consequence to taking no action. If you don't approach the girl, your life is still largely the same, which is why making a public commitment and putting your money where your mouth is so important. I'm not above this. When it comes to me personally, I announced I was going to do the challenge in front of millions of people. I also said if I failed the challenge and I didn't complete it by the 30 days, I was going to have to give away $10,000 to a random stranger on the street. I invested well over 70 grand to make that 30-day challenge happen. I had 3 full-time editors. I had 3 full-time thumbnail designers. I had to pay to go to Miami. I had to pay to have my videographer live with me and work with me 24/7 for the entire 30 days. When you make that big of a commitment and you have that much skin in the game, it's very easy for you to go take action, because otherwise I spent all of that money and made that commitment for nothing. And now when it came time for me to go and do the approaches, if I didn't do it and I failed the challenge, I basically burned 70 grand in a month of time for nothing. This is precisely why coaching and mentorship in any field works. It's because the act of investing in yourself and putting skin in the game is the best motivation to take action. Once you pay money and make a public commitment to someone, now you have to live up to it, because if you don't, you're basically lighting money on fire and walking back your commitment. And the truth is, as humans, most people are simply just too pussy to take things seriously unless they have some sort of skin in the game. And this is especially true if you are a rich and successful guy. If your life is good, you're rich, you're in good shape, you have a good career, you have great friends, it's harder to take action because you don't feel that sting or pain as bad. However, your life with women is still objectively shitty, but the fact that your life is still great makes it much easier for you to cope and rationalize and make excuses for your lack of success in your dating life. And this is why setting big goals and doing something daily is much better than setting a tiny goal. It's more motivating, your skill will progress much better by default, and the journey is much easier. I know for myself personally, setting such a large goal and having the consequence of, if I fail, having to give away $10,000 was much easier to accomplish because I had a support system and accountability. You guys, the viewers, are watching every single day to make sure I uploaded the daily videos. I had my editors, my thumbnail designers, my videographer. Everyone was counting on me every single day to perform at the highest level, and that's what made it so easy to go out day by day, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the crazy challenge I had to do that day, and execute. And this brings me to the next point, and perhaps the biggest benefit of meeting women in person. It builds abundance. Knowing that you can literally go outside, stumble into a beautiful woman, and turn it into a new connection is incredibly empowering. It is a fucking superpower. And when I work with clients, they regularly tell me that just after a few weeks of doing this, they can't believe they went their whole life without it. And once you lock in this skill, every other aspect of dating becomes so much easier because you're no longer living in scarcity. Your dating app conversations, the girls you go on dates with, you no longer feel needy because you're constantly getting new opportunities daily. It allows you to really find the women who are special, and it makes you excited to spend more time with them because now that you're approaching it from a place of abundance, you can actually see these women for who they are rather than projecting who you want them to be because you're living in scarcity and you don't really have many options. And that's the reason I started this challenge to begin with, because it was over 10 years ago that I ventured out to learn this skill set, and I know how much of an impact it had on myself and my life. And after coaching thousands of guys over the years on how to learn and master this skill, I've seen the impact it's gone on to have in their lives as well. 2024 was the year that I wanted to make approaching great again, and after completing the 30 days successfully, I can say that we definitely did. And if you're a guy who'd like to master this skill set fast, then click the first link in the description and apply to work with me and my team personally inside of my private coaching program, where you'll get direct one-on-one access to me to have that skin in the game and accountability to go out and have the type of success you saw in my 30-day challenge. Now, if you're a guy who's on a budget and you want to do it yourself solution, check out the other link in the description, linking you to my Gentleman Approach course, which shows you exactly how to build this skill set on your own and walks you through my entire formula for meeting and approaching women during the day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.